Always great talking to my next guest. Kevin Syler is going to be back on Contender Series on August 4th. He's taking on Kenny Cross. Kevin, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, man? Good to talk to you again. And we're back, man.
We're back, exactly. And I know it's been a bit since your last fight, December 2019. We got COVID. We got all these other things kind of making it difficult for a lot of fighters like yourself to get matchups. But why has there been sort of a gap in between fights, or was the plan always to get back in Contender Series?
I had a fight in between the Contender and this one in December in Bolivia. It was my first fight at 155. I won the fight by submission in the second round. And so it hasn't been a really long layoff. Yeah, from December to August is longer than I usually fight, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I remember that was for Combate Bolivia, which not to be confused with Combate Americas. I know it's a different promotion there, but you must have felt good to get a stoppage win in that one. I know that's something you wanted after coming off Contender Series last time.
Yeah. It was a risk that I was a little hesitant to take at first, because if I lost, I don't know if I would have gotten the call for Contender. But at the same time, I wanted to stay active, and I didn't want to wait a whole year, to get the call. So, and also, I know I'm fighting 155 now, and I didn't want my first fight to be in such a big show, in that weight class. So, yeah, I was a little worried about the outcome of the fight, and I think it played into the performance. I think it wasn't my best performance. I wasn't as sharp because I was in a mindset of not losing instead of winning, instead of going in there and winning.
Right, and understandable. I mean, you got an undefeated record, 10-0. I mean, that's very rare in MMA, regardless of who you're fighting, to amass that type of record. So kind of what you're saying here is that you didn't really want to take that fight, you took it, and then the plan was just to stay on the sidelines until Contender Series again, or was there a plan to fight another fight in there, or I guess what was sort of the plan after that last fight?
Yeah, after the last fight, it was a tough fight. I mean, I was, it wasn't a pushover. I had to fight through some tough spots, and after the fight, I was like, man, I'm not doing that again. I'm not putting myself. I'm just gonna wait it out until the UFC calls me short notice, or the Contender Series comes around. There was a few opportunities to fight in the UFC short notice, and unfortunately they didn't come through. And so when they called for this fight, I said, let's go.
Awesome. Okay. Do you know what cards you were supposed to be on, or who you were supposed to fight, anything like that in terms of those short notice opportunities?
The one I really remember in my mind is when I don't remember the name of the guy. Mike Davis? He fought what's the name of the kid?
Oh, it was Thomas Gifford.
Yeah, we tried to get in that fight, and I didn't feel comfortable with the time, and I was pretty heavy. I almost jumped to it, and then they gave it to Mike. I don't know if I took it, they would not have given it to him. I'm not saying that. And then Jalen Turner got injured to fight in New Zealand. And or his opponent or something. No, his opponent got injured, and I wanted, and that one I wanted. That one I was ready for. And they didn't give me the shot, so it was back and forth, a couple of close ones, but it is what it is.
Yeah, now you're back here on Contender Series. How did you feel fighting at 55 in your last fight?
I mean, like I said, I felt a little off that night, but it wasn't a weight issue. I think it was just the mindset, and just the motivation wasn't very good for that fight. But I felt strong. I made the weight easy, and all throughout last camp and this camp as well, I feel great. I feel great at 155. I'm not ruling out going back to 45 because at the top of the mountain of 55, there's some really, really, really tough and not only tough but big guys. Uh, and but considering that the UFC, if I get into the UFC, it's always going to be short notice. For now, I'm staying at 155, and then if I'm inside and I feel like competition is getting tougher and tougher, I would have to make a lifestyle change and ask them to give me some time to adjust and come back to that division.
Yeah, you need like a full camp to get down to 145, which is understandable. I mean, we've seen this in the UFC. I don't know if you saw last week, Grant Dawson fought. He pretty much said, like, look, I'll take a short notice fight, but it can't be at 45. I need the proper time to get down to the weight class. So I like the honesty on that one. We talked about you being on Contender Series last year, a fight that you won. How much of an advantage do you think that is going on Contender Series again, having already gone through that experience?
I think it's a big advantage, man. I remember last time around, we're 2 weeks out. I was a lot more nervous, and I was panicking a little bit, to be honest. And I got through it, and it was a really tough fight. So it gives me more confidence. I feel more familiar with the whole thing. It's becoming more normal.
And you're fighting a guy in Kenny Cross that has a 10-3 record. You have 10 fights. Like, this really could be a UFC fight as far as experience goes. Because when you think of Contender Series, you think of guys that have a couple fights and have some promise. But you guys are like established as far as the regional scene goes. I don't know how much you knew about Kenny before taking this fight, but you must be pretty happy you're fighting a guy that's really experienced. Like, a win over him is going to look very good.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of him before they offered me the fight. Yeah, he's got 13 fights. That's some experience. Um, I'm just happy. I'm just happy to fight it and try to get this contract.
Yes, absolutely. What type of training camp have you had, especially with COVID-19 going on?
Uh, um, I mean, when it first hit, I wasn't being able to train very well, but by the time they gave me the fight, my coach Ben Stark was already working with fighters and opening up his gym. American Top Team Coconut Creek was also opening up um, the doors, and so it hasn't been any trouble, to be honest. Just taking extra measures and making sure I'm well. My immune system is okay. With all the hard diet in the camp, I can't afford to catch COVID. So it hasn't been a much of an issue, other than I was a little bit more not out of shape, but out of tune maybe when I first started the camp. I went right to it.
I know there had been some cases of COVID-19 in American Top Team. Did that concern you at all when you're training, just in case, because everyone's a little bit paranoid about the virus?
Yeah, a little bit. Concerns me a little bit, to be honest. But what can you do? I got to train, and they did. They were tightening their measures. You had to get tested to train. You had to. We have a guy in the door, with a little thing that measures the temperature, and
they're on it, yeah, for the testing and stuff, which is good. You gotta be more safe than sorry, right? So
they're on it, and there's nothing else I can do. I can't not train or not be around.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. Who have you got to work with primarily? I know American Top Team's a big gym, but it's my understanding the groups are a little bit smaller because of COVID. So who have you been working with as far as training partners?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. It's been a kind of an advantage that it's close to like the higher end pros that have fights. It's not like a super huge group. It's more select, but it's full of killers. So that's the thing. Um, who have I worked with? Renato Moicano is always there, man. He's always giving me work. Thiago Moises. Those are the most well-known fighters. And then there's so many talented Russian fighters, man. I don't even know their names.
Yeah, we want to try and attempt to try and pronounce those. You and I will both be at a loss. Could you find two nicer guys than Moicano and Moises? I know both of them quite well. I've interviewed them for a while, but they just seem like they're always in a good mood.
Yeah, man. Yeah, to be honest, they're really good people, and they're very humble, two very humble young men.
Yeah, no, it must be cool to get to work with them. How is the weight cut going? Not 45, so probably a little bit easier to make 155. How's everything going as we've got a couple weeks before the fight?
It's going well. It's going well. It wasn't as easy as the last fight in December because for that one I worked for it a little longer. This one I had when I got the call I was a little heavier than for the last fight, so we had to tighten it up a little bit and get more road work and less carbs. But I'm on point, man. I'm okay.
Good. And who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
For this fight, it's gonna be Ben Stark, like last time, and my older brother Bentley.
Oh, very cool. Okay, that's good. Family affair in this one. How do you see the fight playing out on August 4th? I'm sure, a finish is obviously important, I think, because that's what they're sort of looking for to get the UFC contract. But how do you envision the fight playing out?
Um, I don't know. I think I have the tools to beat my opponent anywhere in the fight. I really see myself getting a finish, maybe first or second round, either submission or knockout. Um, but like I said, I'm ready for a war. Like last time, I was ready for a finish, and it didn't come through. I expended a lot of energy trying to finish the guy very early, and it got me in a little bit of trouble. So I'm gonna make the correct adjustments, and I'm not gonna force it. Um, I think if it's exciting, if it's a good fight, I already have a win, so I don't think I have pressure to finish or be like, be like super super impressive. I mean, the first fight itself I think was enough for the contract. It was just a weight issue. So I'm calm about that. I'm just gonna implement my game plan.
I'm sure you had a little bit of extra time with all the COVID stuff going on. What have you been up to kind of on your downtime in between training sessions and stuff? Are you watching any TV or watching any movies or playing any video games, anything like that?
Yeah, I had a lot of time, free time. I mean, I do school, so I was doing online, and I like cooking. I like playing in the kitchen a little bit. It relaxes me. I like to get creative and and really take my time and which is something I don't get to enjoy too much when I'm training and normal life because I don't have that much energy. It's more of a do it quickly and do it whatever, chicken breast and whatever takes less time. But a lot and yeah, watching a lot of movies and TV shows.
Good. Have you talked to Tiago about cooking? I know he's really into that, making his own meals and stuff.
No, not really. I didn't know. I didn't know
Yeah, you
about
got to
that.
combine forces. I think him and his he was telling me that he's really into that stuff. So maybe you can get some stuff off him. But either way, August 4th, we're looking forward to this fight. It is Contender Series. You don't want to miss it. Kevin, always appreciate the time, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Hey man, so thank you for the time. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Kevin Syler MMA. Give me a follow. You can find me in my Facebook fan page, Kevin Syler. And yeah, guys, it's gonna be a show. Every time I fight, it's a good fight. It's a show, and I don't come to mess around. So don't miss out.